What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm going to be bringing you my full review of the Vero Engineering Synapse. What we're going to be doing is going through the knife specs. We will do some size comparisons, and then I'll give you my thoughts and impressions on this knife. Let's go ahead and jump into it. The Vero Engineering Synapse has a 3.2 inch M390 blade, 4.15 inch handles, overall length 7.35 inches, and the weight on the website claims that it's 3.25 ounces. Let's go ahead and check the weight on this. Coming in at 3.4, so definitely a little bit more than what it's showing on the website, and I hopefully will have flashed all the specs up there for you. I'm going to try to start doing that. A couple people have given me a hard time about some of the size specs, and I went directly to the manufacturer's website too. Now this one here is being manufactured by Bestech. I just want to be clear and transparent about that before we do any other size comparisons. So Chinese made knife. Let's go ahead and jump into the size comparisons. First up, we're going to have the Demco AD 20.5, which is another EDC friendly size knife that I really do like a lot. And then we'll go ahead and bring out the Spyderco Shaman. So hopefully this is giving you a real nice size reference. You got a little bit more handle on the Demco AD 20.5 and just a smidge more blade length on the Demco AD 20.5. Let me go ahead and move these out of the way, and then we'll go ahead and bring out a couple of other comparison knives. First, we'll bring out the Benchmade Bug Out. I think this is a really good size reference, nearly identical in size, and then we'll go ahead and bring out the SIG K320 by Hogue. Hogue's just a little bit bigger and has more presence. Let's go ahead and move these out of the way, and let's bring out a couple of budget knives. First, we'll bring out the Vosteed Raccoon, and as you can see, the Raccoon, very similar handle, just a hair longer at 3.25 inches on that blade length. And then we'll go ahead and bring out the Civivi Conspirator. I think a lot of people have these knives or are familiar with these knives, and hopefully these size references really have helped you. All right, let's go ahead and move the Conspirator out of the way, and we're going to hang on to the Raccoon to do some thickness profile comparisons to give you an idea just how thin or thick the Vosteed is compared to the Vero. As you can see, the flat scales on the Vero, on the Raccoon are actually going to be just a little bit, just a smidge thinner than the Synapse. Let's go ahead and bring the Demco AD 20.5 out here, and as you can see, the AD 20.5 and I'm going to guess the Bug Out is definitely thinner overall. So hopefully those frame of reference has really helped you with the size reference for this knife. Let's go ahead and jump into the review. The ergos on this, just like the Synapse XL that I have, are excellent, really comfortable in hand. I do have a double XL sized mountain bike glove hand, triple XL if you're looking at your Home Depot yard gloves, mechanic gloves, whatever it is. So I actually fit perfectly on this knife from front to end. No wiggle room though, but thankfully, due to the very neutral shape of this handle, it's very comfortable in hand. It has this nice scallop section here that the hand rests in, and then the forward finger lands on here, so really feels secure in hand when I'm using the knife. Now, my only complaint about this on the Gen 1s and Gen 2s is going to be that the pocket clip's a little bit more pokey. Now on the Gen 3, they do ramp it, so it's like a shelf, and that has helped a little bit with that. Access to the lock bar, you come in at about 25% lockup, and you do have this scallop section here, which really makes it nice to access that lock bar, regardless of how you like to come in to actuate it. So really, really nice. As you can see there, it has a ramp, just like all the Veros that I've encountered have. Now, deployment method, you have this really nice hidden flipper tab that works really good with the light switch, and then you have this reverse flick fuller here that also seems to work really well. The detent, because this is a Nice EDC size knife coming in around that 7-inch mark. Really works well. It's got a lighter blade, so it's able to hang on with that detent a little bit longer, so it feels really snappy in hand. Speaking of the blade, beautiful finish on this knife. It has a hand rubbed side to side satin finish. I do apologize, there's a little tape residue on there from when I opened an Amazon package or a box, a knife box, whatever came in the mail. But it's a beautiful blade shape. It has a nice swedge here out on the top, really thin behind the edge. Came with a nice factory edge on there as well. Great tip. It's in really, really good shape. Titanium bolsters on there, hollowed out on the inside, or milled out on the inside, so that it has a little bit of weight reduction going on. Titanium back spacer and titanium pocket clip that ramps up, goes in and out of the pocket really, really good. Again, that complaint being that it is a little bit pokey, but overall this knife is really, really nice. I like it a lot. The reason that I looked at this knife is because I do have the XL, which I really like a lot, and I was hoping to give the Synapse another chance. I had one, I got it in, I thought it was too small, I kicked it out. And I turned around a little bit later and picked up the XL, which I really love. That one is really nice for me. It gives me lots of space to move around on the knife, lots of room, great big old blade for all of the work that I could possibly want to do with it. But I was hoping to give the Synapse another chance because I remembered kind of close to the size of the bug out. And that's what I really, really was hoping for, was something a little bit longer on the blade at that 3.25 inch. And then as you can see here, it's just a little bit longer. And actually, let me get something that's flat to prove my point. It is just a little, oops, sorry. It is just a little bit longer in the handle from the pivot. I'm trying to line the pivots up, so you have this little bit of space here before I run into it from that pivot. So I was hoping that it was a little bit longer than I had remembered, because I did want something that I could throw in an organizer down in the pocket easily for when I go into the office for work and things of that nature. I think it would have been really, really good for that. Now, just to give you a couple other quick little size references, because I do like to do alternative recommendations, and this is a $300 knife. For that, I'm going to recommend the Mordax, which is going to be about what I really would love this knife size to be for a regular. I think this should be, they should just do this as the Synapse for this size, and this should be the Synapse Mini, and then the one that's below this, if there is one. I think there is one, but that one should be the Micro, I think. And then the other alternative recommendation I'll make here for the size point for me is either going to be that Bug Out or this Demco 80-20.5. I think both of those are really great size references. All right, let me go ahead and get these out of here and wrap this one up. That's going to be it for my alternative recommendations. Do I recommend this knife? Yeah, I love the way that it looks. I think it's a great looking knife. If you like them a little bit smaller, around that 7-inch mark, I think this one, again, coming in at 7.35 inches, $325. I know it's a little bit steep, but it is really well made, and it is all premium materials, and I just love the design of the knife. I wish this one was coming in more at that 280 mark, but I'm not quite sure if they can do that, because there's a lot of milling going on here, a lot of precision going on with the scales and thing of that nature. I think if this was full titanium, or if it was steel bolstered with micarta overlays, they could probably cut the price a little bit. But I think in its current form, it's going to be really hard to do. If you have medium to large hands, this is going to be a really great knife. Like I said, I max out on this knife here with these larger hands. So for me, I'm right at the end. And then when I really just naturally extend to where I'm going, I'm in the belly here now for like that edge and detail work out on the edge. And then I have to really tuck in my thumb behind my finger for those push cuts. And it leaves just a little bit left for me. So for me, I am glad I gave it a second chance. I also wanted to check out the micarta, because the last one was the shred or marbled carbon fiber. I'm not sure, but the last one, I got rid of it too quick, and I felt like maybe I didn't give it a chance, especially after getting the large, which, you know, I'm absolutely loving the large, and I'm really enjoying it. And thank you, Sat, too. I wanted to mention that he did chamfer down this one because the Gen 2 pocket clips were too pokey, and rounding out the edges completely gets rid of that pokey feeling. Now it feels really comfortable in hand with the edges milled down, so I really appreciate it. And he even went above and beyond to go ahead and sandblast this coated color here that you see on it. It's a really nice finish, a little bit darker than what's on here, but I don't mind that personally. I think it looks really great, and it was a perfect solution for my complaint. So thanks, Satu, I appreciate that. Something to keep in mind if you pick one up on the used market, to chamfer that down. Having said that, all the things that I mentioned, if you like that 7.5 inch around that range size knife, you have medium small hands, and you love this look, this is a great option. I gave some alternative recommendations. For me, it's still just a little too small. I am glad I gave it the second chance, but I am going to go ahead and probably move this along. It's a lot of money to tie up in a knife that's going to be competing with the Bug Out, the Demco 80 20.5. I want to say it's even smaller than the Nimble X. Yeah, definitely smaller than the Nimble X2, which is another one that I really like because it's thin. And then you have the Penguin Plus, which is another one that it's going to compete with. So you can see I was kind of hoping to be a little bit closer to that size point that a lot of these knives that I brought out here were. If you enjoyed today's video though, do me a favor, leave a like. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you follow along if you're not already a member and following along. Don't forget to turn that notification bell on too, because you will miss alerts, and there are some contests coming up here in the future. I got some giveaways going on. Thank you for everyone that regularly leaves likes, comments, and is subscribed. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.